Hey, this is Stephen Williams, founder and president of the CreditRepairShop.com. Just finished my workout, got everyone moving for the day. And in today's video, we're going to talk about stop competing with yourself. I'll explain that in a minute. And then we're going to go through just question and answers because a lot of people are sending have a lot of questions about their credit and debt. And I want to answer those because I think that a lot of you probably had a same similar type questions, so it'll help for me to be able to do that. So first, at the beginning, we want to start with uh, competing with yourself. Stop competing with yourself. This is a lesson that I've actually really deep down learned this year because certain things that I was trying to accomplish in my life, and then when I was consciously trying to do it, something subconscious was pulling back. I really didn't understand it. I was always thinking it was circumstances, or it wasn't the right time, or something was going wrong, or thinking it was, not having the right people or something. But what it really came down to was that I was competing with myself. I was competing with what my limitations about myself was about internally. And when I talk to people that have credit problems and I listen, like when people come to me, like, or they type stuff, there's always something behind it. It's more you. Some of the times when people type, if I can actually in a way feel what they're going through, because part of it is to get words out, but part of it has an emotional piece to it, and then a part of it goes it actually where they express in a way, not saying all people do it, but they have an expression in the way that they're writing that their problem can't be solved. And now think about this, it's coming from the same individual. It's not like they're writing me something and then I'm replying back and then they're writing me back. In their initial question, I can see like it's three different parts of an individual. It's I have a goal, this is what's stopping me, and it's not going to work for me. But they don't say it that way, like it's not going to work for me. They imply that their situation is just too bad to fix, or they'll throw something in there like, I wish I would have knew back then, or I just didn't know. And that is a statement that people should consciously understand and realize. But when you write it, or if you when they're writing it out, I can see that they have these different parts of their mind kind of battling with each other. And what it is it's saying that, okay, you want to get this accomplished, you want to fix this problem, and then they know what the problem is, and then on the other side is, I don't want to be disappointed. That's where that fight with yourself becomes, is I don't want to, if I do this and then I'm going to get disappointed, it never works for me. So people actually add that into the conversation in a way, I think, is so it can kind of lighten the anxiety of a letdown. And what I've learned and what I want to share with you is that you have to be willing to go 100% in, and you have to be willing to be 100% disappointed, because there's no 50-50 disappointment. There's no 50-50 winning and losing. You have to go all the way in. You're either going to win or you're going to lose. And if you go all the way in, you have more chances of winning because you won't do things to let yourself down. If you continue moving towards winning, that means that when things happen, you just say, well, that was something that happened. Now we continue moving forward, rather than thinking that what happened was the end and that made you lose the whole game. So I just want to share that with you because that's something that I see with a lot of people that are trying to repair their credit, is that they're setting themselves up for uh, the disappointment, which is actually work in the wrong direction when you're trying to achieve something. Is you should never have any piece of thinking about getting disappointed in your mind at all. You should just 100% think of success. Okay, now let's get into the questions and answers, and I want to just put the timestamp here for those that skip this part of my videos that I start with. So let's first start with the YouTube. We got one here. Person paid a debt collector for 9 years later. So the debt was past the statute of limitations. They paid the debt. They paid $12,000, and they're wondering, because they didn't know their rights, can they get their money back? If it's not a judgment, I want to be clear, if it's not a judgment, there is potential that you can get your money back, because when you realize that you did not know your rights is when the court, you have 2 years when you realize that, to actually go into court and try to get your money back. You may not even have to go into court if you do this the right way. In a previous video, I talked about a student loan company that was collecting money from an individual, and they were not legally able to collect it. When I had showed them what to do, he had ended up getting his money back, his payments back, and all of the payments that he had made for, I think it was a year or almost 2 years, got all of that money back. And it was just because he became aware. And when you become aware, I'm telling you, these debt collection companies, they do know the laws, and they don't want to lose their license. So if you know what to ask them, it's more about asking the right question to get them to do what's right. Because they're not going to just come out and tell you. They're in business. If you don't ask the right question, even if you're in court in front of the judge and you're representing yourself or you're represented by an attorney, if the right questions are not asked, you're not going to get the results that I'm sharing with you here on YouTube. So yes, notify them that well, first, if it's not a judgment, if it wasn't a judgment, you notify them that you become aware that they collected a debt that was past the statute of limitations to legally collect in your state, and now you're fully aware of that, and you are demanding that they refund all of the payments that you made to them, and see what happens from that. And then if they don't, when they respond back, and if they say that they're not going to get the money back, then it's your choice to take them to court, and I'm pretty sure that you would win. Take them to either small claims court or just depending on how much you paid. This would be a bigger claim, large claim. Someone put on here that they listen to Reverend Knight. They figured out that I listen to Reverend Knight, and I think I said it in my videos, and said that I'm right. It's about how to good credit, and first part of getting anything that you want in life is to believe that you deserve it. You have to deserve it first and be that person first, and then it'll materialize to you. This person here on my how to deal with charge-offs and write-offs asked about Amex. If Amex still has the account, and we've settled several Amex accounts, depending on if it's if it's past the charge-off stage, they haven't sold it, you can do a settlement with them. What you have to do is you have to get to the hardship department. Again, I always talk about this. Every company has a hardship department. You need to notify them of your hardship, and then make a settlement offer on the outstanding balance. By doing that, you're going to be saving them money. They're not going to sell it for pennies on the dollar. Maybe they'll get more from you than what they would have got selling it on the open market to debt collectors. Some other people said that they're in. I want people to report back to me that you have been doing your visualization about having good credit, about seeing yourself with good credit, about I want you to tell us what you're going to do when you have good credit. Start putting that out there. This is a good group to work with. Normally, I would not say to do that, because people don't need to know what you're working on because they won't understand it. Sometimes family and friends won't even understand it. But in this group, because we're all of the same mind, I believe that it would be okay for you to go ahead and put that on there. If you like, I'm not saying to do it, but at least uh, pop on here and say that you are practicing doing that every day. Okay, we have well, this is someone just asking with the credit repair shop, do we have any hidden fees? No, we don't. We tell everybody our fees. This was someone, a truck driver. Let me get to the questions though. There was one here, and I didn't even feel good about missing this one. It happened over the weekend, and I think one of my employees answered this, and they had basically told them to call. But I wish I would have saw this, and I apologize. The person has a title loan. Title loan company is saying that they're going to take the car, they're going to repo the car, and they were asking what should they do, and I said, and number one, because of what we're going through with the virus, I said that you need to contact them and get to the hardship department. All the lenders are required to have that, even if they pretend not to. Also, you can, depending on what state you live in, look at what your governor has said they can and can't do. During this time, they may not even be able to legally repo your vehicle. Yes, you're going to have the fees. Yes, there might be other things that they can charge you for, but they can't repo the vehicle right now, which would give you some time to get things caught up or to work out another deal with them to be able to continue paying them either a smaller amount or some type of agreement. It'll just give you more time. But that's where what you should do with that. Let's see here. Some other questions. We had a question about deferment. Talked to the mortgage company. They said that the interest will not be deferred, but they would defer the payments. You can also talk to them about doing a forbearance, but yeah, some companies are not pausing interest rate. They're going to let that add up. And the thing that you have to be careful with about that is that when your payments come back, the payments can be adjusted to be higher, or some type of adjustment could happen to be able to adjust for the additional interest that was not paid over those months. So you do got to be careful. That's why I say in my deferment program, you need to get everything in writing and be careful with dealing with mortgage companies. But if it's a federal mortgage loan, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, those types, you can get a 1 year forbearance where you don't even have to pay anything for a full year, no interest. Nothing will add up on there. With other mortgage companies, it's a case by case basis. They all do deferments, but they may not do the interest deferments. Same with car payments. Someone had asked about with car payments, and that you have to, that you can get a deferment, and some of the companies are deferring everything. Some of them are just deferring the payments. But the one thing with those is that they just put everything on the back end of the loans on those. Mortgage companies kind of do things a little bit different. Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh, this was the one from the other day. I think this is a repeat, but it's worth saying that a person was on the phone with a debt collection company, and they said that the credit card company was not able to file suit against them, but if you take specific actions such as making a payment or making a written promise to pay, that the time to file would reset. So that what they were trying to do is to bait this individual into paying this debt of $12,000 that was past the statute of limitations and that they would not have to pay. But you see how they worded that, and I replied to them that you do not need to pay any of that because it's past statute of limitations, and you need to notify them that you know that it's passed and that they've even said it's passed, and then to have them cease all collection activities. Keep a copy of everything that they've sent to you, because I'm pretty sure this is going to pop up again with another debt collector. All right, so we're going to end the video here. This is Stephen Williams, founder and of the Credit Repair Shop. If you need help, visit our website, thecreditrepairshop.com. If you need your credit reports and scores, visit www.your3scores.com. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please post your comments. And please do your homework on daily visualization on having good credit. Thank you, and until next time.